Hello, I'm Carolyn Herbert from the Finance News Network, and joining me from Fund Manager Ausbil is Small Caps Fund Manager Tony Waters. Tony, welcome back.
Thanks, Carolyn.
Now, Tony, can you start by giving us a quick introduction to the fund and what sort of stocks it invests in?
Yeah, the fund is called the Ausbil MicroCap Fund, and that's universe is any companies outside the ASX 200. So typically we're looking for good quality companies that are going to have the legs to graduate into an ASX 200 company one day and provide good growth for our investor base.
And how long has the fund been running, and what's the investment style?
Yeah, the fund's been running a little over 6 years. The investment style is very much a philosophy around picking stocks that we believe will deliver earnings growth above market expectation. And to do that, we typically look at companies in terms of very much a qualitative process in terms of things like good return on capital, good products and services and strong balance sheets in which to be able to fund growth.
So how is the fund positioned then?
We still have very much industrial focus. The great thing in the modern age is you can find a small cap stock which has very much a global outlook and a global footprint in terms of where its earnings are coming from, and that means the length of growth potential in those businesses are much higher than maybe we would have seen in the past. And we're trying to populate the portfolio as much as possible with those type of situations.
And what are some of the fund's biggest positions?
Hanson Technology is a company that we have owned for some time now. It's a billing software solution for utilities and pay TV market primarily, and the telco market is an emerging market for those guys. Very high retention rates on its customer base and very high annuity revenue growth that business is generating, and again, it's one of those businesses with very much a global outlook.
And are there any particular themes that are working well for the portfolio?
Yeah, there's a couple of key themes that worked very well for us last year, and we think will continue to work well for us into the future. And one of those is Australian health products into the Chinese market. Despite there being some views in terms of valuations or overvaluation at market, the reality is that they really are still only on the cusp of the market opportunity in China. So companies like Blackmores, companies like A2 Milk, as a case in point. Another key theme that we think still has some way to run is in the outdoor media space. It's really the only traditional medium where we're still seeing very good growth, and in fact in the digital age, which has been a real disruptor to things like free-to-air TV and newsprint services, outdoor media is still very relevant in the digital age, and in fact is a beneficiary from static to digital screens, and there's a lot more data that can come out of that, and we're seeing 15 to 20% top line growth out of companies like APN Outdoor, Media, as a case in point. So we've done well, and we think we will continue to do well out of positions such as those.
And Tony, what new stocks have you added to the portfolio recently, and why?
We've recently, unique situation for us, but introduced a company called Infigen, which is an infrastructure play. They're wind power, which generates green credits, which is going up in value because of an undersupply of green credits to the market, where we have now a stable political outlook in terms of where that market is, and we would expect earnings growth in that business to be quite substantial, and we're seeing very much an improving business situation through a company sale where they now have a much better balance sheet than what they did in the past. RCG is another company, and that's a business that is very much into the athleisure wear when it comes to footwear, and Platypus is a shopfront brand that many of our teenagers and young people will know about, and that's gaining a lot of traction in the market and following on from what we're seeing globally as a real positive thing.
And final question, Tony, what's your outlook for the market going forward?
Look, I think overall we're still going to have issues globally in terms of growth. Having said that, the world is changing at a more rapid pace, and there are a number of disruptive technologies and in business models which are still generating growth well in excess of what we're seeing at a macro level, and that really is the focus, is stock-specific focus in those businesses that are going to be winners, that are embracing technology, that are embracing new ideas and concepts that are going to take market share.
Tony Waters, thanks for the update.
Great, thanks Caroline.